Peace and blessings to all. Hope everyone is doing fine. Today I want to talk about Ecclesiastics chapter 9, verse 14 and 15. So I'm gonna read it out loud, and I'm gonna break it down to my example of what I think it means, even though it could mean many things. There was a little city, right? Verse 14, there was a little city and a few men within it. And there came a great king against it, and besieged it, and built great bulwarks against it. So, it's like you have a small city, right? A few men within it. And there came a great, like a powerful ruler that came and took over that little town or city or whatever, And everybody was so afraid. Nobody stood up to that great king or warrior, So it kind of reminds me of the story of David, right? How when the Philistines came and Saul was a king, he was supposed to be this ruthless king, right? And the first king and stuff, and all of them was so afraid of the giant. But the giant came, and it's like none of them could face the giant. They all hide and and run, and you know what I'm saying? And the giant could do what he wants to do. And here came this little poor boy, like, asking, who is this giant, And David did his research. He didn't just go up to him, He was in training too with the animals and stuff, because he was a little shepherd boy guarding his father's flocks and stuff, and taking care of the sheeps, and and rescuing them from the mouth of a lion, from the paws of a bear, and from like whatever they used to have, whatever wild beast that used to come and try to snatch or snare the sheeps, So here's this one little shepherd boy protecting the herds. And that was so amazing, because I could relate that verse to King David, and like how he went after, it could have been a lion or a bear or whatever, and he rescued that little cub unharmed. Whether it's, like he smite the lion or the bear and get back the cub. So that's a powerful symbolic thing. And that's the same thing he actually did to Goliath. Because he went up against Goliath and he just slay him with the word of God. And it was the word of God that knocked Goliath down. And then, because he had 5 smooth stones, and he ended up using one of them just to smite the... Okay, so it was 5 stones, 5 smooth stones David had, King David, right? So one of them was for Goliath, then you got 4 stones left for his brothers, Because it was 4 other giants. There was a family, but David went prepared. So, he took out Goliath, and then him and his men took out the rest of the family. Goliath, 4 other brothers. Okay, so David did his research on Goliath and found out he was gonna get a certain part of the kingdom, and he cared about the kingdom and certain inheritance he was gonna get. So, he was like, I'll get all this if I take him out. And then the Goliath was already dissing God, so David wasn't feeling that. He was like, who is this uncircumcised Philistine? And then when the giant fell, he just went and beheaded him, you know. So that story, I could relate that to verse 14. Because it did say, there was a little city and a few men within it. And there came a great king against it and besieged it, and built great bulwarks against it. And verse 15, now there was found in it a poor wise man, and he by his wisdom delivered the city. So that poor wise man delivered the city. There was a wise man within that town that was up against that great king that came and besieged it, and built great bulwarks against it. And there was this poor man, but his wisdom was out of this world, and he delivered the city. So, it's not what you have. I mean, it's not what you have physically, but it's what's up in your mental. What you have mentally. Like, once you have God mentally and your axe is sharp, your mental axe, like, you don't have to have all the money in the world. You could basically generate the money in the world by how one character is. Like, you could generate what you need, because God bless us with all the resources we need. It's just for us to have the awareness of how to use it. And I'm still learning how to use mine. So, and I'm going to read verse 15 again. Now there was found in it a poor and wise young man, or a poor and wise man, and he by his wisdom delivered the city, yet no man remembered that same poor man. So you see, it's like you could do good, and let's say you do good, right? And you do bad. It's just an example. Or you do good and somebody else do something bad, right? The people, 7 out of 10, the people usually realize the bad that was done, 3 out of 10, or 3 out of 10, that's how much percentage remember the good, so it's like 30% remember the good and 70% remember the bad. So it's like, no matter how much good you do, like, people are always gonna cling to the dark side for some reason. And I never understood that, but I guess it's nothing to really understand, because it's just the way it is, But it just shows you, like once God is using you, they're gonna remember you, though. Because if the demons are afraid of, like, God, and God is greater, then, respect due no matter what. So they're gonna remember it, But it's just sad. It's a figure of speech, like how good is bad nowadays and bad is good. Look around you. Perfect example. People are beginning to, they're changed, And it's like, you could know somebody and be cool with them, and y'all, like y'all, the best of, not even the best of friends, even your best friends will turn against you, like, y'all will be cool, and just, people are just, they'll switch up on you, but it's not really them, it's the spirit within them, if they're not, like, if they're not praying every day and constantly eating spiritual food, it's like, It's just a matter of time before they get caught up, like the birds in the snare that in my last video I did, and the fish in the ocean that doesn't know when it's gonna get snared up by an evil net or whatever, you know? Same thing with man. Man don't know what his destiny is like until we live it out. And some men live their whole life searching for their own purpose or their own destiny. Me, I don't want to be like that, you know? Like, I ask God to lead my steps, and, you know, I'm going to fulfill mine, because that's my destiny, you know? So, hopefully you guys find yours, and, you know, it's not just about materialistic thing, guys, because, come on. If it was just about that, you know, I'm glad I don't have that type of mindset. Like, I'm a go-getter. I take care of business. I'm an action person. I like to get stuff done. But when it comes to like idolizing materialistic stuff, man, it doesn't really mean anything, because you could work so hard, right, for a nice car or whatever, and, you know, either something happen, you know, whether it be by Mother Nature or whether it be by, you know, like, God forbid, you know, like somebody run into it, or whether it's parked or you're driving it, God forbid. It's like, you know, anything materialistic can be broken, you know. But when you sharpen that mental axe, it's like wisdom is everything, you know. Because you know how to move, you know. It's just like King Solomon, perfect example. Even though I'm not talking about the error he made, you know, all that stuff he did, that's a lesson for us, you know. But you see, like, he was the smartest guy ever, right? And he asked for wisdom for a reason, you know, because with great wisdom, everything else will fall in place. So as long as you stick with God, you know. You notice when he lost God, that's when he started to lose everything. And God was like, you know, being that God gave him his word, even though he messed up in the end, God still was like, you know, like, I gave you my word, but you know what I mean? Like, you turned from my ways, because you made everything around you deceived you, you know, and you didn't stick to what you know, like, which is God, which is what blessed you in the first place. So, you know, sticking with God, everything is a lesson, because we're all weak. I'm not blaming anything on anyone. I'm just using it as a lesson, so we learn from it, you know, or I learned from it. And Solomon was so wise that even in the end, he was like, everything is vanity, you know. And like, I know that's how he wrote all these books, the 3 books. He wrote Proverbs, Ecclesiastics, and Songs of Solomon, you know. And he was a very wise brother, you know. And I learned a lot. And everything you could learn from Solomon, you could even apply it today, in today's life, you know. And that's how you know it's of God, because it still works. God is everything, and we just gotta respect it, you know. It's sad what's going on in these dark ages, but in spite of the darkness, there's still light. Whether at the end of the tunnel, or there's still in darkness there's always light, because everything ought to be balanced. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I know I've been talking a lot. Hopefully everything makes sense to you. I definitely understood it. And subscribe, like, share, comment down below. Let me know what you think. And God bless you guys and your loved ones. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.